Why does every story feel so familiar? It began with the call on your life to fulfill some unfolding purpose you are fundamentally fixed to. So how did it fall into this? You are facing the foundational fault lines and it feels like the earth is quaking, the structures is shaking, and your friends are fading, and it's all so confusing. Who is authoring this unfair and unfortunate part of the story? You have enough faith to move mountains, but why does it feel so fickle in the face of this fear and frustration? Why does every story have to have a crisis? Somewhere, somehow, in the great big mystery of it all, you find yourself in the middle of a mess you failed to foresee. What once was a melodious movement flowing from a fountain of freedom now feels like a forgotten fixation. You found a fork in the road and both paths led you here. Now the trip-ups, the fall-downs, the missteps and failures lead to confusion and comparison, and you want to quit. Did you forget this is part of each of our stories? Can you find God in the midst of your crisis? The God of all things, the God in whom we live and move and have our being, is here. If God swears to be faithful to the call, will you be faithful through the fall? Even the most faithful can fade away from friends and family in the midst of failing. So when Jesus was forced to face his foes, those oppressing his every mode of transformation, who could fault his followers for freaking out? Imagine fixing yourself to a flawless professor of faith and he is taken away without a fight to face the court and sentenced to the darkness. If you were to watch your friend lifted up on an unforgiving executioner's cross, would you remain focused? Or would this darkness force you to fold? This crisis is unwanted, unwarranted, unwelcome. It fills you with fear and fashions itself to your soul with a formidable feeling of hopelessness. When will it be like it was? When will you see the light again? In this story, there is sorrow and suffering. There is failure and fumbling, and there is the crushing crisis of Jesus carrying the cross. Hope is fleeting. The call is fading. The story seems futile. So for God's sake, what does it mean when he faintly says his final words? It is finished.